2018 for WWE wasn't too extreme in terms of roster turnover, being that the power brokers would rather drink strychnine out of a martini glass than let a single wrestler slip out of their grasp, lest the treasure hunters from Jacksonville try to throw them into their burlap sack. But wrestlers, even before the Khans and the Elite set up shop, still managed to leave the McMahon compound. It could be a developmental prospect that wasn't working out, or even an established name on the main roster that, for one reason or another, simply had to go. As much as WWE would seemingly prefer to keep everybody on board, a few do end up going overboard. We here at Cultaholic are going to take a look back at the WWE castouts from 1 year ago, talk a little about their exits from the company, and provide an update on where they've ended up. Mason Ryan, Stevie Ray, Earthquake, Alundra Blaze, Norman Smiley, Zach Gowen, Bam Bam Bigelow, Ahmed Johnson, Tory Wilson, Buff, Bagwell, Robert Gibson, Dave Taylor, Terry Taylor, and Godfather's Holmes. Dwayne Gill, Adam Bomb, Michael Hayes, Cor Von, S.A. Rios, Jim Manai, the manager from Kai and Tai, Jim Powers, Francine, Jack Swagger, Mean Gene, Fat Chick Thriller, Duke the Dumpster, Oklahoma Manta. What happened to that wrestler? Some were main eventing, which leaves me lamenting. What happened to that wrestler? Some since long forgotten, but their memories live on. Enzo Amore. It's rare for WWE to just get rid of one of its ongoing title holders, but the news reports from the time pretty much left them with no choice. Cruiserweight champion Amore had been accused of sexual assault by a woman in Arizona, was suspended the day the news broke, and terminated the following day for an apparent failure to inform WWE of the ongoing investigation, which Amore, through his attorney, claimed to have not known about. After the charges were dropped due to insufficient evidence, Amore returned to the public eye, launching a rap career under the name Real One. After over a year and a half outside the ring following his WWE release, Amore returned to action in August 2019, working a match against Brian Pillman Jr. for Northeast Wrestling in New York State. Rich Swann. Swann's high energy and daring in-ring style were welcome in the resurrected Cruiserweight division, in which he reigned for a time as champion. But in December 2017, Swann was at the center of a troubling story, in which he was accused of battery and kidnapping/false imprisonment of wife Vanara, fellow wrestler Su Yung. Swann was immediately suspended from WWE, and although charges were dropped due to insufficient evidence the following January, Swann was released from the company 3 weeks later. After exiting the company, Swann returned to the ring 2 months later in CZW's 2018 Best of the Best tournament and began wrestling for the likes of Impact Wrestling and MLW. Swann still wrestles for Impact, recently reigning as the X Division champion before dropping the belt to Jake Christ of OVE. Abby Lath. After making her mark on the independent scene in places like CZW, Shine, Shimmer, and Shikara, the woman best known as Kimberly signed with WWE in late 2016 and took on the Curious Lath name in June the following year. She competed in the 2017 Mae Young Classic, making it all the way to the quarterfinals before losing to Mercedes Martinez. Despite working 3 matches in the tournament, she primarily wrestled at NXT live events before her release in March of last year. This past April, she opened up about her own struggles with alcoholism and said that she had joined Alcoholics Anonymous while stating at the time that she was 2 months sober. Kimberly still tours the US through various indies, wrestling the likes of Priscilla Kelly, Chris Statlander, and Solo Darling over the summer. Sage Beckett. At one time, Beckett wrestled for TNA under the name Rosie Lottalove, but since that time she has shed over 100 pounds and resumed her career in 2014 after 2 years in retirement. Under the name Mary Kate, Beckett began to appear at NXT live events in the spring of 2017, and later, under the Beckett name, took part in that year's Mae Young Classic, losing to Bianca Belair in the first round. That unfortunately constituted one of her lone TV appearances, the other being a Battle Royal that autumn. Her final match was a win against one of the upcoming names on this list, and she was released 5 days later. Mary Kate Glidewell has not wrestled since leaving NXT, and now works in the field of herbal medicines and operates MK's Apothecary and Herbal Therapies in Ruskin, Florida. Ming. The 6'8", 285-pound Guang Ming was signed by WWE after attending a tryout in Shanghai in the fall of 2016, and reported to the Performance Center early the following year. After finding a role as the imposing bodyguard of Kona Reeves, Ming wrestled his first match in October 2017, losing to Angelo Dawkins at a live event in Citrus Springs, Florida. Though Ming won a national heavyweight title as a boxer just a few years earlier, life as a WWE superstar didn't seem to be in the cards, at least at the time, and he was released less than 5 months after his first professional match. Not much information is readily available about the whereabouts of the 27-year-old ex-boxer, who at least hasn't turned up anywhere in wrestling since. Zaida reported to the WWE Performance Center in early 2017 in a group of women that included Abby Laith, and wrestled her first match for the brand 4 months later at a live event in Dade City, Florida. She too wrestled in the 2017 Mae Young Classic, losing to Shayna Baszler in the first round in a mere 2 minutes. Her only other televised singles match with NXT came the following month, a quick loss to Sonya Deville. She wrestled sporadically on live events for the brand, including the aforementioned loss to Beckett, before being released 3 months later. Now known as Zaida Zhang, she very quickly turned up in Major League Wrestling following her release, and also wrestled around the globe in countries such as China, Singapore, Nepal, and Mexico for various promotions. The Ely Brothers. Now here's something you don't see every day. 2 twin brothers in professional wrestling who were released from a promotion, but are let go 4.5 months apart from each other. Uriel and Gabriel Ely began wrestling in NXT in the early part of 2016 and spent their tenure occasionally working on TV with the likes of the Authors of Pain, the Street Profits, Sanity, and TM61. Then Uriel got let go in the later part of the spring of 2018, with Gabriel following him out the door in October. Neither man has wrestled since March 2018, meaning Gabriel was under contract for 6 months without doing anything. Based on information from their Facebook pages, Uriel moved back to Wisconsin and is married, while Gabriel remains in Orlando and is engaged. Big Cass. The same year that the scrappy, loudmouthed half of the realest guys in the room exited WWE, the clean-up hitter of the two went away as well. At the time, the 7-foot Cass was feuding with Daniel Bryan on the SmackDown brand when he was suddenly let go for a number of issues, which include public intoxication during a company tour and disobeying Vince McMahon's orders during a TV segment. Since then, Cass has spoken candidly about his issues with alcohol and mental health, and has since committed himself to getting his body back into unreal shape. He's wrestled a handful of matches since his WWE exit, more recently under the modified handle of Kaz XL, and was one half of Jon Moxley's first opponents after the former Dean Ambrose left WWE. James Ellsworth. Ellsworth didn't appear to have a contract with WWE at the time of his last appearance on SmackDown, so the date denotes his last in-ring appearance with the promotion. After an enjoyable previous run as both an overmatched underdog and a delusional sidekick for Carmella, Ellsworth resurfaced at the 2018 Money in the Bank for what amounted to a 1-month run, aiding now SmackDown Women's Champion Carmella in fending off challengers such as Asuka. Ellsworth later appeared at TNA Bound for Glory in October 2018, losing to Eli Drake, and 1 month later found himself embroiled in a rather troubling scandal that caused him to be pulled from a number of bookings. In 2019, Ellsworth has wrestled 3 matches, the 2 most recent coming for separate indies in Pennsylvania and West Virginia during SummerSlam weekend. Neville. While most would have Neville tabbed as a 2017 exit, the fact remains that he was under contract with WWE for many months after his October 27 walkout before an episode of Raw. In January 2018, the former 2-time Cruiserweight Champion's contract was reportedly frozen until a release could be agreed upon. As of August 2014 of last year, word of his release from WWE became official. A month later, almost 1 year to the day after his final WWE match, Pac was reborn in the Dragon Gate promotion, joining the RED stable. In early 2019, Pac was announced as one of the signees for the brand new All Elite Wrestling promotion, and now that his reign as Dragon Gate's Open the Dream Gate champion has come to an end, he is slated to debut at All Elite's All Out against Kenny Omega. Tian Bing. Bing made history by being the first wrestler from mainland China to compete in WWE, signing with the company in June 2016. His most notable appearance came at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, where he competed in the pre-show Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, eliminating both Fandango and Tyler Breeze. Bing also wrestled in the 2016 Dusty Rhodes Classic, teaming with Ho Ho Lun to lose to Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. After that WrestleMania appearance, Bing only appeared on NXT TV once, shortly before his October 2018 release. Previously a wrestler in Antonio Inoki's IGF promotion, Bing has apparently not wrestled since his exit from WWE, and his present activities aren't readily known. Cheng Yu Jiang. Another part of the September 2016 recruitment class out of China, Cheng was a fitness trainer with a background in boxing, but no prior wrestling experience. He didn't wrestle his first match until October of the following year, losing to One Lorcan at a live event in Jacksonville. Cheng never made it to NXT television, wrestling just a little more than 30 minutes during his year as an active wrestler with the company, before being released alongside fellow countryman Bing and the luckier half of the Ely twins. Since leaving WWE, Cheng has wrestled at least one match, which took place this past March for Middle Kingdom Wrestling in his native China, losing via DQ to an American wrestler named Uncle Money. Tucker. No, not the heavy machinist, but rather the Irish-born Paul Gallagher, a pro of close to a decade and a half and trainee of Finn Balor. Tucker had worked for WWE since the beginning of the UK Championship tournament, losing an opening round match to the eventual winner, Tyler Bate, and later losing to Jordan Devlin at a main roster live event in Dublin that May. In a handful of appearances on the NXT UK brand, Tucker mainly served to put over others, including Devlin, Ashton Smith, and Eddie Dennis, while simultaneously working promotions like Over the Top, BCW, and Courage. Tucker remains active since his NXT UK departure, still wrestling for OTT as well as the European wrestling promotion. In May, Tucker lost to Volta at an OTT card in Belfast. Nick Miller. The veteran Australian wrestler, known better as Mikey Nichols, signed with WWE in March 2016, along with longtime partner Shane Haste, who became Shane Thorne. Together, the duo, previously known as TMDK, became TM61, and later that year they fell short in the Dusty Rhodes Classic Tournament finals to the Authors of Pain. For much of 2017, the team was on hiatus after Haste went off to have knee surgery, leaving Nichols to work singles at non-televised events. Later redubbed the Mighty, the two came back together in 2018, but never regained their previous momentum. Last December, Nichols asked for his release from the company in order to return to Australia with his family. Since then, Nichols has resurfaced in New Japan as part of the Chaos stable and competed in the 2019 New Japan Cup.
Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can pledge to us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.